Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Bucharest Major. We are in semi-final number 2. Just one more match to go, and that's the grand final tomorrow. And still one question remains. Who plays Vici J Thunder, who made their way through past Newbie earlier today? Is it going to be Virtus.pro in 2, or can Team Liquid find some fight and come back into this second semi-final? They're going to need some inspiration from their many top-quality players. Let's find out whether we can get some inspirational stuff from our panel members. Did you learn anything from Team Liquid in that motivational DVD?
I learned that players are more willing to do content these days. Go back 2 years, none of those players would have done that, guaranteed.
You know what it is?
Kudos to them.
It's the Slacks effect.
It is the Slacks
right?
effect.
Yeah.
Once you as a player or just a person in general, you see successful content, you think to yourself, that'd be kind of fun. I want to be able to do that. But when Slacks, it's the people who were willing to take the jump the first time Slacks comes around. Where he's like, hey guys, you want to do my little skit? And everybody's like, oh God, that sounds so cringy. That sounds like the worst thing you could possibly do. And it actually ends up being hilarious.
And cringy.
It's all, yeah, and cringy, but it's the players who took that first step when Slacks first came on the scene. So.
Those first explorers, we salute them.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I thought when you said it was the Slacks effect, I thought you meant like, he has this overpowering way of, overpowering them to do whatever he wants to do.
That
could be that too.
Is also true.
I feel like it's almost the opposite. The players have control over him. He just doesn't realize it.
Ooh,
Just think
that's
about
next
it for a
level.
bit.
That
It
is.
is
That's
kind of next
totally
level.
next level.
I know.
They could have got a lot of work to do in this game. A lot of work. Can you see them coming back into this? Because as you rightly pointed out before we started this series, they haven't been playing at the level Liquid play. They're still good, they're still great players, but just haven't been playing at quite that top level that we've seen in the past.
I mean, of course it's possible. We just talked about anything's possible, You can replace a member of your team and immediately win a major, and then perhaps going for a back-to-back for Virtus.pro. We'll see, but yeah, you're right. They do have their work cut out for them, and I think a lot of it will start with the draft, obviously, as it always does with Dota. But again, I don't even think the draft is necessarily the issue. I mean, Invoker just, as much as I want it to be good, it just has not been good recently. Or by recently, I mean the last 6 months.
I thought you were going to say the last 6 years. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute.
Only.
It was good 4 years ago.
But that's the thing about Invoker, though. It doesn't matter how bad. He's always a very entertaining hero to watch, right?
Yeah, a bit like Storm.
It's almost every single one of those later game carries that aren't regularly picked up. I think the OD is really the only hero that I'm kind of acceptable of right now. That is kind of regularly picked up as more of a late game hero. Terrorblade is another one. And again, it's because they're impactful early.
Sneak through the little
Matumba's
bands.
If we're going to lose this game, I'm going to do the most damage. I don't care. I want those stats.
I'm going to be the most obnoxious.
I want those fantasy points. Very important.
They've got both of they've got the percentage-based damage and that really obnoxious damage over time.
That's true.
So
that
this
is the old.
This is one hell of an
that
opening.
is the old combo.
Yep.
That is disgusting, actually. Yeah, that is super. You just need Zeus just to finish them off, just in case they don't die to the poison. Right?
True, true. When you're hit by this combination and you might even kill somebody, but you're walking away from that fight and you're watching your HP tick down. You're like, no, please no. And you're trying to do the math in your head. What's 11% of my HP? Oh God, I'm getting closer. Am I gonna die? And inevitably you do, because this combination is just far too strong. Virtus.pro, though, I think this is going to be one of those games where you just need to run through heroes. You need to make sure that when you jump on the Venomancer, he absolutely dies. You don't allow the Ancient Apparition to be able to set up on you and get those good ice blasts. So I want to see some good old-fashioned VP aggression, run and shoot.
It's good old-fashioned CIS aggression. They're going to go with the Sanking and the Disruptor again. Not uncommon.
Neither team picked
Tiny
up,
again. Oh, he got banned,
He got
actually.
banned, yeah. That was
Early
the change-up from Virtus.pro this time. That's what let the Venom through.
Neither team picked up Naga Siren.
That's true. Naga's there.
Does it get banned in this second phase?
Well, you would imagine, but you never know.
Nor Death Prophet, though hard to fit in for VP's second pick after the Ancient Apparition is already there.
Now, I don't know if they actually run this that often with this combination, but I'm just thinking, when I see AA Venom, I think, how can this be any worse in terms of playing against these heroes, right? I think Tinker being added to that would...
With his rocket spam
I'm just trying to think of what tilts the enemy the most, right? Tinker's got to be towards the top of the list.
You're hit by all of that, and the Spectre comes in to finish up all those heroes.
Of course,
She jumps to one, wacha, he's dead. Jump to the other one.
Tell you what they do run alongside sometimes is the Inch.
Enchantress is one of the most tilting heroes to play against, actually, especially in a 1v1. You just don't win. Everybody loses.
And we were talking about how the matchup against DK, but last time we already had kind of our offlaners. It's still open. Both the offlane positions are still kind of there because VP can run that Sand King in either the 3 or 4 position. But DK will be banned down this time around. Maybe it'll be picked versus the Terrorblade. Liquid have done that before, if VP get their hands on it. And apparently Liquid are going to leave it out there in the pool.
Well, I'm looking for a Juggernaut this game. I'm having a little feeling on the old Jug.
You know, funny you say that. I was with you on that. I actually think VP Juggernaut would not be so bad. The healing word effect against Ice Blast, okay, you're not going to be able to have fun with that. But I like the direct single target damage that you'd be able to employ that's kind of uninterruptible. You know, just get on top of that Venomancer and, you know, tear him apart with the Omni Slash.
You know how good it feels to get Galed and then spin, and it actually works as a Dispel now against?
Oh, and look at that. Virtus.pro actually are the ones who banned Juggernaut away from Team Liquid.
Okay. I don't want to say this too loudly.
Yes.
But whisper. There is a particularly horrible hero that Liquid like to run with the Veno just to make it even more obnoxious. Who's had spiders? Is it Broodmother?
Oh, against Sand King, I don't know.
I knew the moment you were talking obnoxious here, I was like, oh, Broodmother. Yes.
Like, let's say, for instance, they pick Brood here, right? Let's just say. You have a Sand King already. That should be enough, right? In lane against the Brood? Or is that not as potent anymore since they've upgraded the spiders? I actually have not seen that matchup yet.
Against one hero?
Brood. So against Sand King. Because again, like you pick a Brood in the old days, you pick a Sand King, you pick a Tide, something to that effect, and it just kind of nullifies the hero to a large degree. But I don't know about these days.
I think it's better for, like, because of the mid matchup, it's better for heroes like where we saw the Omni Knight, who has a big nuke that definitely kills the spiders in part because of that big pure. Naga Siren, so we're going to see the VP Pasha Naga Siren. I was a big fan of it last time around. I thought it was really smart, especially against the Lifestealer. It was a counterpick to the Lifestealer last time around. Here, I think it's just, in general, a kind of both a setup and a slowdown to the game, where if you do get hit by the Ice Blast, you can try and stop some of that follow-up damage with this song.
They have amazing team fight right now. You set up the song, you get the easy kinetic field, static storm, epicenter, burrow strike, literally I'm just naming all their skills because it all works together at this point.
It's just a fusion.
Plus Meteor Hammer, of course.
And Earth Spirit and Ancient Apparition are not heroes. They like to maintain a certain distance on their enemy and then go in on their own terms. They do not like being surrounded by these heroes, and neither does Venomancer, honestly, because he could just get focused down here, imagine a sleep, into Disruptor, Static Storm. There's not a whole lot you can do about that combination. They're actually going to pick the Tidehunter into it. Tidehunter has been a response to Naga Siren setups a number of times because he's got the sustain, he's not really a hero you can focus down, and he's got this big Ravage turnaround. But it's up against the Disruptor, so they do have the Silence lockdown. Not 100% sold on this pick just yet.
Yeah. Kraken Shell, unfortunately, will not take that off. I mean, it is AoE Doom if you get hags and all that good stuff, right? So, and we'll see.
And the Luna in place of the Gyrocopter.
Okay.
I mean, I think that was perfect because I was thinking, okay, Gyrocopter is gone. You want to be able to have another hero that's well set up by the team fight aspect of the Naga Siren, but you also want a hero that's going to be able to outscale what is currently set up from Team Liquid, which is just kind of a Venomancer core and a Tidehunter. I think you can still beat that. An early BKB hero is going to be fantastic as well with all this magic damage and the AoE disable of Ravage. Ignore all of it so far.
And right now, Liquid, their lineup does not go very late right now at all, especially against what VP have to offer. I mean, Luna, one of the best. Naga can transition into a core or into position 1 in a lot of cases, even as the off lane. So is there anything they can pick up for Liquid that actually...
Medusa?
That's pretty late game. I mean, do they want to just end the game early, possibly, with some hero pick?
Well, I think if you're Virtus.pro, you're going to ban the Terrorblade because the Terrorblade versus Luna matchup is really unfortunate with Reflection.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
I think, but we'll see. They do need some physical damage, though, for sure, simply because I think they're a little bit too focused on magic damage so far with their first 3 picks.
I mean, even VP right now, that's quite heavy magic damage as well. They have some physical DPS in the late game with Luna, but still mostly magical heroes for both teams.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better about theirs simply because we do have this reliable physical damage later on in the game with the Luna. And they're going to take away a puck, another initiator thrown out of the pool.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know what wraps this up for Liquid, though. We need a miracle hero
5 seconds remaining.
that will help them transition to the late game somehow.
Virtus.pro's turn to
And they do ban the TB, as you said.
How about a Timber?
Timber against Ensnare and Disruptor.
That's pretty horrible, actually.
I mean, as much as I want to see a Timber, it's one of my favorite heroes to watch, for sure. Don't think this will be... don't think so will work out for them.
It's a tough ask, isn't it, Kat?
It's hard to fit in, but maybe Lifestealer?
That was banned.
Oh.
Yeah, it was banned.
Oh, yeah, Liquid took that out earlier.
It.
Yeah, I was saying for VP, it's weird to fit in, but the magic immunity, I think you want kind of a durable hero that gets on top of these and can sort of lock himself on there. That's why I was a fan of the Juggernaut as well.
Which they banned.
Maybe the DK's out.
Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Queen of Pain. Right. My goodness. All right.
Let's see then. Where does Liquid go?
Yeah, you get those.
Obnoxious?
We might see a lot of denies this game. I think that's 2 out of the 3 heroes that have deniable spells, if I'm not mistaken. Shadow Strike and Venomous Gale. Very important stuff.
5 seconds remaining.
It's all the little things. They all add up.
How's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a hard carry, like Void or something. I don't know how good that is this game. It doesn't really feel very miracle-y either. Miracle-y?
He's played a lot of PL recently.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer against the AoEs, not so good. There's so much AoE control.
Pugna could be okay.
Here for him. So what is he going to pull out? He's going to pull out the PL.
I don't like this lineup.
I don't like it either.
Okay.
That means they're going to win, pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty sure that is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got SK and all his AoE, Queen of Pain, ton of AoE there. You've got the nice Static Storm lockdown against this with the setup of the Naga Siren against the PL on top of that. I kind of feel like Liquid and that last pick was put into a corner.
It was very limited, wasn't it? There wasn't a huge amount left out there. So go for comfort, I guess. All right, where are we going with predictions?
I'm going VP. I really like their lineup. I've liked it from the first 3 pickups. Only thing I really like about Liquid is the fact they have got Matumba Man Venomancer, so VP.
That's never a good thing. Just be happy with that.
Damage in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Shannon, where you going?
As much as I like PL nowadays, because he does scale a lot better, especially since he's got that level 25 talent, although Miracle did not pick that up in the last time he played it. I do think VP's lineup is just way better right now.
Okay, let me just double check this. You both went for Liquid game 1, right?
Yes, so it's going to game 3.
Listen, we're just setting up the whole 1-1 situation.
Gotcha,
game 3, let's go.
I'm totally on board with that. I'm sure everyone here is on board with that, unless they're a Virtus.pro fan, which I know there are a lot of you here for as well. Now, can Virtus.pro make it to the grand final in double quick time, or can Liquid peg them back to 1-1? Let's rejoin our commentary team of Toby1 and Purge.
I sit here as a biased commentator, hoping that once again the panel is incorrect. I want a game 3, Kevin. And right now, looking at the draft, it doesn't look that strong to see a game 3. Both the panelists, they went for Virtus.pro, and we're having concerns about the laning phase.
Yeah, I can definitely see where everybody's coming from there. But oftentimes what Liquid does is things that confuse me that ultimately work out really well in the end. Just because the overall synergy between VP's drafts don't necessarily look good. Liquid is always looking for a way to provide a solution against that. And maybe strong lanes is one way. Because VP has picked some heroes that are slightly weird in this draft. The Queen of Pain has been occasionally used, but isn't seen as the best core right now. And while Luna's had a lot of success in the last 2 days on stage, she was barely touched in the group stage. So maybe there's some solution against this that that Liquid is looking at. Like, for example, lots of PL illusions is going to eat up things like glaives in team fights. Yeah. VP has a lot of stun and things like that, but maybe if the PL gets to a good position, or maybe if Liquid starts a good fight with Ice Blast and Ravage, it'll just be one of those annoying heroes dead anyways, and they can play through it. So lanes are obviously a huge impact. In the previous game, Liquid had a tough time in their lanes. Maybe they can turn it around for game 2.
I'm interested to see if they are capable of doing that, because really when you look at these lanes, like, we're not even going to know exactly what the lanes are going to be yet. Both teams are 5-men smoked up, and they're putting aggressive vision into the opposition's jungle. So far we haven't seen GH drop his ward just yet. VP only committed a sentry ward onto that bottom lane. I'm not even certain that actually blocked the camp. It's like right on the edge with the animation.
It'll be in for sure. I mean, they can tell right away. I think it shows a colored animation when you
it's
drop
meant,
it.
It's meant to change red when you do it, and I don't see the red for us, but the stalk is inside. So we'll just say their camp is blocked. We'll see it 1 minute, double check. Yeah.
So with that camp being blocked, it just means really bad levels for Liquid. And that's a pretty bad thing considering that they have an A as well as our Spirit. Our Spirit, I feel like, has been kind of suffering in terms of level acquisition lately since the boundary rune change, and A definitely wants to get some free levels by pulling. So and at least in the off lane, as far as that's concerned, it should be a nice advantage here for VP's characters. But with mind control going to the bot lane, apparently it's not going to matter because they're going to go for an aggro try.
They're already switching it up. So the Venomance or an Ancient Apparition, always a fun combination with the Chilling Touch and then the early slow that can come from a Tumba. Difficult to walk away, and this is the downside about Luna, right? Like her attack range is so poor, and they're already switching the lanes. They're already TPing out.
Oh,
the Solo, he's in a world of hurt. Rolling Boulder forward, his TP, is it going to be in time? The ticks are there, and he's living at the fountain, barely.
What an escape there. I mean, Liquid was basically all set up for that. They weren't expecting to see 3 heroes top, and they saw him coming with the ward. Kuro goes to hide, and still instantly Solo knows he's in trouble. The Gale lands, and he starts his TP. Huge TP escape there by him.
Yep. That really shows the weakness in this offlane, the fact that there is no stuns until GH can get a couple more levels. But then Liquid, they move their heroes around once more, so Tyranitar doesn't want to be on the bottom lane by himself up against the Luna, hence he's so protected in the trees. But Miracle can have a good fun time at mid. He's going to actually level up the Phantom Rush, going in on no one with GH2, trying to force some kind of reaction, and they get it. Solo moves to mid lane.
That's another really cool thing about them putting the PL mid that they've anticipated. Wow. That was the best doppelganger, dude. 2 wasted spells. As soon as the dagger lands, as soon as Thunderstrike is cast, he can just use doppelganger. It dispels himself, no damage. So not only does PL fit well in the matchups, but in the lanes, it's definitely the right thing to grab. He can still be right-clicked, obviously, but in terms of dispelling spells, he's in a good spot. Unless they cast twice in a row while dispel's on cooldown.
On bottom lane, Roger's a little bit too deep. He has Ensnare as well as Riptide, but this won't help. Rolling Boulder well off the mark from GH. As Roger ran down south, the only way to escape, but thanks to Chilling Touch slow, Naga still on the run a long way, but they don't actually have the follow-up. Roger's going to salve and retreat.
Yeah, the missed Rolling Boulder caused them to lose that kill. Maybe if Tided Gush, definitely a kill, but picks up level 2, grabs Anchor Smash, and now he's... And now his second missed kill for Liquid, and another 30 seconds until they get Chilling Touch again. So AA is certainly having a bad time. He does have a sentry though, so if he places his sentry correctly, he can get a D-ward, but just past the 2-minute mark, there's very little that Kuro is going to be able to accomplish in these first 3 minutes.
Yeah, but he'll accept that. He knows the laning phase is still going to be better. Mind control up against Ramses. We talked about like that range battle for the Luna. It's terrible for her, but it's great for mind control, and the Naga couldn't really do much more apart from burn a lot of life, a lot of damage onto herself. And Matama could just sit up on this top lane. Pasha can just sit invis, most definitely, so we can see that 1k strat come out, but instead he's just holding the point, so he's actually no, he's just put the second point up into Burrow Strike. So ready to be aggressive if the impulse does come for it.
I think Matoma Man will be fine here as he picks up 2 points in Poison Sting. Just very easy for him to harass his opponent. Gank's going to be coming in mid, or at least some pressure on Miracle here.
Are they waiting for it? Miracle's going to doppelganger off at least the Thunder Strike. Won't be able to doppelganger the next part. Roger, here's your glimpse back. They have Riptide as well as Ensnare. Lock down Miracle. All they try to do is bait out that doppelganger. Now Miracle needs more life, but he won't have it. No one spilling first blood onto Miracle. Support just not fast enough or effective enough from Team Liquid.
Kind of a big mistake from Miracle there. As he used Doppelganger, they're going to try to harass no one at least here.
Yep.
But he needed to either not use Doppelganger so early, or he needed to just walk away as soon as he Doppelganger. But he kind of chased after Solo to go for a right click, and as soon as the dagger landed, he was in a lot of trouble.
Now they look to go to a Solo, but Roger is back once more. The Ensnare is on GH. They change the target. The Rolling Boulder blocked by Roger. Liquid trying to help out their mid lane with PL, but it's just escalating the issue as this has turned into a tri-lane for Virtus.pro in mid lane.
And VP's just executing it perfectly. They know what Liquid is, how they're going to react, and they're just showing up at the perfect times to punish those errors when Miracle does do things like use Doppelganger. Like, VP is just doing this lane harass so well. It's amazing that in games like this with some of the best, with probably the best players in the world, that they can still play each other.
The sacrifice is still coming on their side lanes. Luna at 11 CS compared to the 21-2 of Mind Control. And then up on top, Sand King, he's still getting a decent amount, 15-3 against the 19-5 of Venomancer. But obviously the fearful thing is Matumbaman's levels.
Well, doesn't have to worry about Gale for a bit at least.
Yeah, the Gale was well off target. Rolling ball to bottom Ramses. They keep him in position, so the cold feet, it should trigger. So Kuro gets the kill, Roger and Solo. They have glimpse of Marble, so we'll get revenge. GH just cannot get away from the tower.
They might chase this.
Yeah,
They've got glimpse.
Yeah, Mind Control knows he has to get aggressive. Yeah, she got the Ink Smash off Roger. The cold feet tick. Kuro gets the double kill.
Oh, the
attack
salve.
from Solo. No, the salve. Kuro still doesn't have enough life to survive. Ramses will rejoin the fight as Mind Control into the trees. Burns off the Mango. Looking for a kill onto Solo. Support is there. It's going to be GH. They're both split on different targets right now. But that kick from GH, it goes through Roger as well as Solo. But it wasn't enough of a delay. Kuro will pick up Solo on the sides. He's now rotated into that AA. GH needs more space. Rolling Boulder is back off cooldown. And Roger, well, he needs to play the Fog of War or else Roger's just going to body block it out. Kuro trying to keep Ramses at bay, but now it turns into a fight for Kuro. Now, Tidehunter return to the fight. Ramses' cold feet won't trigger, but Roger's in deep. No more man to work with. So all they got to do is keep the chase up. Chilling. Wait, no, Ramses? He turned around, one charge, had the mana for the Lucent Beam. Kuro thought he had a fight. He had Chilling Touch as well as the Ice Vortex ready to help out Mind Control.
He just didn't feel super confident about any of those kills. He was scared to commit to it, and man, VP again just outplaying their opponents here. Getting these little edges, but Liquid is on the board, and their net worth is sitting very good. And that's mostly because Matumbaman has had a super easy game right-clicking creeps on the top lane. So while the lane rotations from the supports are not going Liquid's way, their gold on paper is good, and that just means their cores will have to transition later into pulling more weight in these fights.
And he finally hit that Gale up on top. That's why the SK TP'd all the way home. 3 points up in Sting. Easy harassment. Bottom lane, however, Virtus.pro, we're going to go again. Mind Control still not 6, and VP trying to initiate as much as they can. Rolling Boulder through. GH looking for the kick to create a little bit more space. Hasn't thrown it out just yet. Now it comes. Both Rams and GH and Roger caught, but Solo has the glimpse available. Mind Control, not enough life to survive as one loose beam will finish the job. But Kuro in through the side. The cold feet will kill off Roger. They turn their attention towards Solo as Rolling Boulder in. The supports from Team Liquid are doing it, and Solo will die inside of his own kinetic field.
Great rotation there, but it all starts off with the Tide anchor smashing as many heroes as possible. It limits VP's damage, and finally they're not able to outplay their opponents with raw damage. So great rotations from the supports on Liquid side, and they're able to catch up, and the game is very equal right now.
Roger's moved off lane. He's headed up towards the top. Able to secure the bounty runes if they actually existed. At least there is one on the Dire side. Luna's also coming top, so it looks like VP do not want to keep that engagement going. Understandable when you got a 13-2 CS Luna. He's got 3 kills, but this may make it 4. Matumbaman needs some distance. There's 1 charges to get that Lucent Beam back off cooldown. Rolling Boulder, GH needed to get the kick a little bit earlier than that. And now he's stranded, ensnared up right under the attack of Virtus.pro. 2 heroes lost on the top while bottom lane, Ravage burnt. They're trying to kill off Solo. Kuro and Mind Control combo together to make it so.
Cooldown expensive, but absolutely worth it to get the kill, because it's so early in the game that by the time the next teamfight rotation comes up, Ravage is off cooldown. And twice now I've seen Ramses barely get kills on heroes right before their raindrop comes back up. Liquid just little fractions of seconds where they don't get the raindrop damage block and they end up going down. So still very close moments here whether they get the kills or not.
I think on bottom lane, yeah, they're waiting for that Burrow Strike. There's no Sandstorm available for Pasha, so Ice Vortex into the cold feet. Pasha will have this click on him, and all Mind Control needs to do is just hit him once more, but no, the one charge keep him alive with a Sonic Wave! No one! TP's in and cleans up the Liquid.
A solid rotation there. Ran out of damage, and it looked like a great kill opportunity, but Sand King ends up staying alive with a wand. Wand is like the hero of this game so far, I'm pretty sure.
They're trying to tick down Ramses a little bit on top, but this will be a little bit easier, Roger. Well, you can Riptide all you want. They're still Rolling Boulder. There's still kick available. And with the Poison Sting damage, Roger can't walk away from this fight. It's just too difficult. Down to 12 HP, and the Sting will finish the job. Matumbaman claiming that one. Gets
a Bounty Rune Thief at least before he dies. Luna's just dying to Poison Sting right now randomly. Must have been a ward or something.
This is what Matumbaman's been doing. We were kind of gossiping about this at the very beginning of the draft. It's like, yeah, Venomancer, he can go anywhere. Matumba just gets 4 points in Sting and wins the lane. The Plague Ward levels come back later, but it's just this pure lane harassment.
And even to kill him, it's so dangerous because you're going to be slowed for a long time as you retreat, but this is one way to do it.
Yep.
Big committal with the smoke from the tri-lane.
He just put the second point up into Plague Ward, so no Nova to give a large amount of damage back. He can Gale, he can Sting a little bit, and with the Plague Wards down, he will still actually have a decent amount of tick. And the kick, Luna Control, but the glimpse. There's always that plan B, but the silence, but Tommen stands his ground a little bit longer. Roger has Gale and Sting on top of him. He's dying. I think he wants to be denied. Where is this? Like, is GH going to have a crack? Rolling Boulder. Roger. He uses Mirror Image trying to dodge the damage. Ramps won't be so lucky. Team Liquid get both of them on top. A big streak to end as well. 5 times.
The same thing we saw last time when Tommen played Venomancer. He gets killed in some of these ganks, but even without his ultimate, he just does so much damage.
Fire Strike into Epicenter Mind Control. He gets the Anchor Smash off 2 seconds before Ravage comes back off cooldown. It wouldn't have helped him anyway.
But net worths across the board still looking very even. The cores on VP are stronger, but their supports are bottom all the way at the very bottom.
It's a double smoke gank from both VP and Liquid, and both the smokers will run into each other. GH seeing Solo and Roger, taking half a second to react, but gets the kick and the cold feet. They're hoping to pick up Solo, because he's the man that's going to glimpse him back into the fight. No one, prepping Sonic Wave, the 2 of them, bring him back in, and that timing!
That was just so perfectly executed. And instantly they smoke. I think that was even in Vision here. Invis Rune is bottled, and they'll shift over. We'll see if Matoma Man will back up in time, but he's got a Hood of Defiance now, so it's even harder for him to get killed here. And there's a lot of magic damage coming from VP's side. If they don't overkill him with something like Eclipse, I just don't see Veno dying in these little 2 or 3 man skirmishes right now. At least not before backup.
They wrap around. Ramsey as well as Pasha came in through the Radiant Jungle. Mind Control. Well, if he just burns his ultimate, it's going to help him. Well, not at all, because no one's coming to help him. They just accept the fact Eclipse is burned.
And Mind Control does this a lot. Just goes to his lane, pushes it out, forces these rotations, and it does give his team some time. And normally I'd say it's okay, but in that moment where they also reacted to the other potential rotation, I think this was a rare time where we needed Mind Control to sit back and just play defensive to maximize what Liquid is trying to get.
Yep. For now, it's the top tier 1 tower. That's the object of Team Liquid. No one's just been having such a great game. He's 2 levels in front of Miracle at the moment. Number 1 on the net worth.
He's got 5 kills.
Yep.
At 11 minutes. That's incredible. And he's been a part of 7 kills. Just having a really good game here. If he can transition this well into a fast Orchid, that is the death of PL, if he can start finding PL early. Because it's a long time until he finishes some item that's going to keep him alive, such as Manta Style. So the faster the Orchid that he gets, this is really dangerous for Liquid.
He's going for the defensive Yule to begin with. Understandable with so much silence and dot, but Basha, Fire Strike comes in, nice kick, but this wall as well as the Storm from Solo. They get caught, sending the ground, Miracle copying a lot more damage, Doppelganger's away from the ensnares, Matoma right in the thick of it. The Song of the Siren trying to reset from Roger, but Solo is currently ticking out. He needs a denial, both Pasha and Solo. They're both licking their wounds as they move back behind the tower. Roger cannot escape. Down the bottom, he'll try and bail out. Won't happen, but Solo ticks out underneath the tier 2 tower. Pasha was able to survive. But you really feel that damage output from the Venomancer, and it's going to get worse when the Veil of Discord gets completed.
It's just working so well. Ice Blast almost catches Pasha here as Kuro's looking for that snag. He also misses no one. That would have been an amazing double kill. But either way, it's just so straightforward for Liquid to take team fights. Drop the ulti, attack each person once. The Plague Wards are nice, but they're more of a way to deliver the Poison Sting, and he just collects items. And he gets this decent early game. It's very reminiscent of the previous match he played. He got pressured more that game, but he just still does so much with levels.
Here's your TP coming in from SK. No Blink Dagger available yet, so Pasha wants to defend, but there are a lot of friends around here. Observer Ward gives perfect vision for Team Liquid. The Rock.
That's a hard one. They see
prepared. Yeah, they pinged it.
This is one thing that you can sometimes see in darkness without having vision.
Is the Rock?
I think so, because I don't believe they should have had vision in that
Pasha
area.
hit by the Gale, rolling Boulder, need that silence out. No one, Ravage combining, clips the back line, which was Solo. The Pasha, they know he's in the trees. Burrow strikes up the hill, Matoma. Quick Plague Ward will give them the extra vision. But the death of the Queen of Pain means the Virtus.pro really don't have a fight.
By far the best hero to catch. 5 kills. The killing spree goes over to Mind Control, and now he's just super caught up. approaching the core level farm on the enemy heroes, and as they get more and more hoods, it's even harder for VP to get these kills. They had such good rotations in the early game, and a blink is going to make a big difference here for Pasha, but they don't quite have the easy kill follow-up that you normally see out of a hero like Ancient Apparition. So it's going to require things like Queen of Pain ulti, like Luna ulti, to actually secure some of these rotations in the mid game, and it might give VP a hard time.
I'm wondering if Luna's actually be able to fight. Like, she's going to get burnt out pretty quickly once this diffuser play is completed on Miracle, and it's coming a lot faster just because of the space he had on top while Liquid were fighting in the mid lane.
He's still got a ways to go, though. He just started it, essentially. Still needs another 2K gold or so. But I think the hero of the game so far has definitely been GH. He's landing some huge silences on the whole fight. I mean, it's forcing the Queen of Pain down this Yule's path so that she does feel like she can contribute and stay alive. And landing his disables and getting levels has been giant. He's 1, 5, and 9. Couple
Epicenter.
Deaths, but
going after Batalman. He didn't actually get that Hood of Defiance off to start with, and then they put him inside the wall. 14-1 charges. Venomancer can survive through this and potentially even Nova. But the rest of Liquid, they don't have time to fight. When the storm ends, the Eclipse reveals the dead Venomancer.
But that's 3 big ultimates. Just secure the kill. Pasha's in trouble. Kuro knew where he'd be. Down to the shrine to heal.
He gets away with murder.
Efficiency comes to hurt Roger in that moment. But it took so many resources just to kill the Venomancer there. It's a big kill, but if it takes 3 ultimates and they all have long cooldowns, how can you transition this?
Bottom lane, they're going to go after Mind Control. He's finished his own Hood of Defiance, so no one as well as solo. They can glimpse him back. Support's coming over in the form of Miracle, so Mind Control will sit in the tree line. He doesn't have Ravage available, but here comes GH2, VP. This took too long. They're going to actually get punished on the bottom lane. Ramses wants to help out, but they can't do so when they've lost solo. No one a defensive blink. It's on the cards to get back to the tier 2 tower, but with this kill, maybe now Liquid have the confidence to push forward. They have a full pipe on the Tidehunter and Ravage off cooldown in 5 seconds time. The team fight is most definitely theirs if they take it.
He's got a clarity as well to buff up the mana he needs. They're able to push, and it's so hard to take these fights because there's Plague Wards completely blanketing the whole area nearby. So even approaching from side angles is so dangerous. Like outside of Naga Siren ulti into Disruptor ultimate, it's very difficult for VP to win these team fights when you have to deal with Tidehunter Ravage, Veno stuff, and even like Earth Spirit reacting with AoE silences.
There's that downside about the SK too, like, hey, I want to use a Blink Dagger, but it's just not possible, so you need those big ultimates to work. Middle lane Ice Blast is on the way. It's just Liquid trying to ensure they can get that momentum swinging back the opposite direction as they do take the tier 2 tower on bottom.
It just really discounts how good Sand is going to be. Well, when you have to deal with hoods, it looks like
a
dead hero.
He just came out to go on a warding mission. Observer and Sentry was in his hands. But he had no idea that Liquid were there. Pasha, he just walked straight past Mind Control to Burrow Strike the wave.
He knows where they are. He knows where they're going to go next. The next closest hero was him. It's time to leave and go top. So.
Roger's also looking to creep skip. Like, he's just sitting between the towers. They are really trying to create some space for Ramses to come online. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a Luna behind and then just come back. We had it in the previous series.
I think there's some potential of that, but it's so hard against this much magic resistance because that is Luna's one way to just kind of blow up more heroes than she probably should. Her right-clicking is strong, but Eclipse is usually the big damage dealer, and with a Hood and a pipe already finished, it's going to be hard.
There's so many Liquid coming under the cover of smoke.
Breaks. They might find her.
Yeah, Ramsey's already starting his TP. Pasha blinks the opposite direction. Burrow strikes up the hill. The silence was nice from GH, and the kick! The Ronaldo of Team Liquid. And they will look to take that tier 2 tower. No SK. And no fight for Virtus.pro. They creep skip the mid.
And this is the best they can do right now. They can't even clear the creep waves very easily with these. So Liquid just keeps continuing to group up as 5 and push down towers. And VPs, they can look at this, but they can't really take the fight. Split pushing is the best they can do, but they're so worried right now. Because if they do get caught, no one can split push because he can Euls himself and then blink out. But a lot of the other heroes on his team are super vulnerable to these kinds of counter ganks. So Liquid just gets to do what they want, which is pushing towers and accelerating into items that are going to make a difference.
Yep. They'll have both Greaves as well as Pipe.
They got 2 pipes now, actually.
They actually, they're just going to like just stack them.
Yeah. The actives.
Well, don't stack them, just chain them.
The aura, I believe, does not stack, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you can recast the barrier now, as long as the first one is gone. So, and now Tide's just going to go for Mech and Pipe. I think this is a great idea, or Mech and Greaves. It's a great idea just because they're already difficult to kill with the overwhelming magic damage from VP's side. They can just build against it, and if they can just keep their whole team alive, they should be able to easily overwhelm them in damage output. The only hero that's really kind of squishy is maybe AA, but he's queuing up a Glimmer Cape now. So as long as his positioning is good, it's going to be really hard for VP to get these hero pickoffs, which is basically what heroes like Queen of Pain, that's their strength. So it's a terrible position for VP at the moment.
Yep. I'm actually wondering that if no one has to change his item build, because he is still looking to pick up that Orchid, but is it going to be too late to be effective? Do you just get Aghanim Scepter? Do you try and slow down the push? Do you look for something else?
It's kind of hard to say, I guess. Orchid would let him get solo pickoffs, but Liquid is not going to be moving solo at many stages of the game, and Orchid is also preventable by magic damage block, so GH doesn't find him. But
he had no information to find him.
I mean, he's almost got his Blink Dagger. He'll be able to kill him next time.
Matumba is farming an Ancient stack on the Dire side underneath the Dire ward. And he should still probably feel pretty safe. Unlike the Naga Siren, Roger has really been pushing the issue a little bit too much in mid, so trying to get out of this, but it won't happen. My Control gets the pickup, no one. Looking to jump onto Matumberman. SK's coming over too. They need that blink into Burrow Strike. Hold him there. Sonic Wave committal, but Matumberman both Pipe and one charges. The Ice Blast will connect onto Pasha. No one. He's chilled.
So
and
dead.
actually, with the Sting, he's got Poison Nova and Poison Sting. Solo wants to deny him. He's looking for the right timing, but it's so difficult when the Ice Blast is on him. GH, he'll get the kick, but get it glimpsed away. It's buying time for Kuro to move up with Mind Control. Solo starting his TP. You are not burning Ravage for that. Let the kill go.
The Ul Scepter looks so good, but the Shatter debuff still gets placed on him while he's in the air. And with the poison damage follow-up, there was no opportunity of solution there.
The ping's coming out for Roshan.
I mean, it's that control period. We're basically seeing a flip version of the game last game. I mean, VP's surprisingly got a lot of kills here, but does not feel like the game is within their control. But finally finding Veno when he was solo, that's a great grab. It does give VP some gold back in their advantage, and the Orchid purchase continues for Queen of Pain, so that'll just be a little easier next time.
Yeah, I'm not certain they're going to be too happy all the money went into the Sand King. It's going to give him a 4-star, but they would have really loved the Luna to have that BKB. She's getting closer, and then Ramses becomes a little bit more of a stable element in the fights.
Yeah, he can actually jump in. I mean, if he doesn't have BKB, he's just going to get ravaged into killed.
Roger, Song of the Siren trying to stop the fun. He just walks up the river. GH is staying with him with the blink forward. Rolling boulder. Roger can't get the ensnare off. There's a quick glimpse from Solo, but it will not create enough space. At least not around Roshan. It's buying space for Pasha to pressure the top tower. Ramses, get the hell out of there. You're underneath Radiant Vision.
Yeah, we'll go back into base at least, but very easy to kill Naga without his TP up or Blink Dagger. The top tower is very easily pressured here, but Pasha is still scared to commit, and it's not worth his time anyway, so it's time to get back and defend. But there's no Song of the Siren. There's no Epicenter for 10. There's no Scream of Sonic Wave for 25 either, so hard to defend
all
this.
they can do is just push the side lanes, but they know they can fight this one because you've got the mech coming in for Mind Control. So Solo is just getting ripped apart by the illusions of Team Liquid, and they know they can take more. Like they can on the bottom lane. Ramses forced into a 10-second defensive BKB. He wants to fight, but it's so damn hard. He's popped the Mask of Madness. Cannot eclipse, and Liquid are already disengaging back to the tier 3 tower. I say back to the tier 3 tower. It's still their front line. Pasha scattered up the Observe Ward, saw him in the back lines. A quick blink away. He'll dodge the kick of GH.
They are unkillable right now. That Static Storm did 0 damage. There's 2 pipes and now a hood on the Phantom Lancer. They know that all of the damage is magic. That's the only way that VP gets back in the game right now. So if they just all tank up, they're just going to overwhelm their opponents, walk them down slowly.
You almost got to catch them when the pipes are down. You've got 28 seconds before... Actually, no, Veno's still got his. Matumba's still got his up and running. So you can ensnare all you want, wait for the epicenter. Pasha's in a really good jump position. The back line, Sonic Wave goes to work. Here comes Pasha with a Burrow Strike forward, but all of the damage is instantly repaired. Pasha can't do anything. They've lost no 1-2. There's just nothing in the tank for Virtus.pro. That's Miracle. Manages to mow down Roger. Run back to Fountain. It is the only safe place for Virtus.pro right now. They will lose 2 lanes of racks here at least. The pipe's already back off cooldown for Mind Control.
I mean, they got like 2 of them right there. They'll be back at some point. And the bot Rax is being pressured. It's very likely to fall. Pasha does not have his ultimate here. sitting on the sideline, maybe looking to do some kind of a combo, but they don't have Eclipse.
Yeah, with what?
They've got Static Storm.
Ramsey's is even leaving. He's leaving the base out through the mid lane to try and push it back out. I think they just accept the fact this bottom lane of Racked is gone. Solo can glimpse and potentially get some kind of like exit kill on Team Liquid, but this is assuming that Team Liquid even want to leave.
I mean,
they're very comfortable where they are.
What Liquid realized this game is that the damage output of VP was very clearly magic damage, and they're also pretty cooldown reliant, and there's physical on Luna, but it takes like 2 or 3 items for her to reach anything resembling a Terrorblade's level of damage, so they kind of got hard committed here to this magic damage, and then Liquid's just overwhelming them with farm and the right items.
Roger, look for the song combination with Solo, and now they could potentially catch out 3, but no, Mind Control is just walking out of range of it. The kick stopping Roger, and finally the Song of the Siren will turn off. That's not the best combination, but it's Greaves. It's all the life. Roger can't do anything. GH, as she survives the attack, no one can even get the kill, and they cannot take the game. VP realize this and call the good game. We will be having a third matchup between Liquid and VP after Liquid just understood the lineup of Virtus.pro perfectly, itemized to counter it, and take what looks to be almost an easy victory in Game 2.
Yeah, the amount of kills they had compared to how difficult that felt for VP, it just looked completely unmatched if you don't watch the game. And the itemization, the heroes, it looked pretty bad on paper, like they'd be vulnerable and gankable, and VP has all these stuns and things, but their damage output and their ability to burst heroes was so ulti-reliant, it wasn't easy to do, and Liquid just, they all benefited each other's heroes. They had exactly what they needed. The roaming went a little bit rough, and VP outplayed them there, but once I got to mid-game, game was over.
Felt like the lane switching too, like it just seemed to work so well once you have like how many times during this competition have we just seen that off lane of Radiance just do so much better? It can be the Omni-Knight combination. I think Newbie was the one that was running that one. Then you have Matamaman saying, you know what, I can make Venomancer work in any lane. Just give it to me in the off. I get my max poison sting. Eventually someone's going to rotate off the lane and it's just going to work.
And I think that's why they had Kuro as well as GH start there, in addition to it being a little bit of a surprise. But Veno at level 1 is not Veno at level 3, 5, 7. Once he gets to level 5, level 7, he has tons of damage output. But before that, he's vulnerable. So maybe if they can shut him down when he's level 1, that's how they beat the Veno. But once he gets some levels, he's pretty unstoppable.
I have a way to beat the Veno. It's called ban it. But of course, that's a very complicated thing to do. What do you take out? What do you put in? We go to our panel of experts to find out what can they change in Game 3.
Yes, thank you, Toby. And of course, we will go back to Purge and Toby for game number 3. Good question as well. What do they ban? But still plenty of other questions. The first one of which is, the curse of Suns fan is real, gents.
Yeah, Suns fan.
Hi, me. We're a team,
This
guy.
never happens in our panels. Our panels are always fantastic. We always get our predictions right. You come in and mess the whole thing
how
up.
about this? How about you let me choose the winner for this next one, once the draft has happened, and then you just pick the opposite, and one of us is going to be right.
All right.
I like that. See, this is what we call the blitz split approach.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he
There's
does
a name
that.
for it.
He does that a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
just to make sure that there's no panel curse, because right now you both are cursed. You've gone for the wrong team in both games.
Yeah, Jesus.
But that shows just how tight these games are, right?
Yeah.
You look at the draft and you think, this doesn't look like it can work from Liquid. It looks a bit disjointed. They look like they're struggling to find a decent mid. And actually, when you watch the game, you're like, well, okay, that's kind of working.
I underestimated how bad Queen of Pain is as a hero. It just looked real bad.
I think one of the biggest problems is that Matamaman they didn't shut him down early, and then you think about it, like every single time you hit a certain key timing on Virtus.pro, it was directed at the Venomancer, right? And it was just the hero that would always be able to punish them. The first Blink Dagger of the Sand King up at that tier 2 tower. He was hiding in the jungle. It's to stop a Venomancer push. And he even still gets off his ultimate. They get an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast on it. There were so many times that VP went for one of those kills and failed. And that was another one. They actually killed the Venomancer there and then walked away, and they were both super low, and then boom, they jump in and managed to get the kill on both of them. So there are so many times that actually happened. Virtus.pro, maybe if they were able to shut the Venomancer down a little bit earlier in the laning phase, and then as a result, they are able to burst down that hero when they go for it without him getting off his Poison Nova, but it just takes that little bit and everything turns against you and just becomes a harder and harder game.
I do love some of those reaction shots.
Yeah, that was
nice.
nice.
Just like literally, I had no idea that was
I
coming.
got ice blasted. That's the ice blast face right there.
It was, yeah, it was.
Now, just to be clear here, Cap, I haven't really, kept up with things, but I'm 99.9% sure this is still the case, but I didn't see it the whole game for some reason. Gale is still deniable, right? That has not been just one of the 3 abilities, I believe. You got Doom, Gale, and Shadow Strike, 2 of which are in this game. We didn't see one deny.
It's really difficult because the Ice Blast is on you as well, so you have to do that quick math where you're like, okay, what level is the Ice Blast? Figure out the percentage-wise, and then be able to get the hit while Poison Nova, while Gale is taking you, while Ice Blast is taking you. You have to figure all of that out and be able to hit him at the right time to bring him down below the threshold. That makes Ice Blast finally finish him off.
Another reason
so you get the kill bounce.
Sound far too complicated. It's got to be easier than that, surely.
Definitely. But I think Veno AA worked, right? That's an old pub strategy.
Yeah.
Let's bring out some more pub strategy. We got like
some more pub
Sven
like
Lina. That's an old classic, right?
Yeah.
Both terrible heroes right now. How about some Centaur Tusk?
Okay, this is getting out of hand there.
It's good.
Let's check in with our scoreboard and look at some heroes that are popular in the game right now and do actually do some damage and do synergize well, it seems.
Yes, indeed. Are we going to MVP yet, by the way? I'd like to give my MVP. Tell me if you guys agree. I think Kuroki is the MVP of this game. A lot of good Ice Blast, and the fact that he picked Venomancer for Matu.
Do you think that's how it works
yes.
in there? No, it's not.
Sure.
It's not.
Sure.
Trust me.
It's most valuable
player.
Not most valuable drafter.
Well, he played. You're saying he didn't play well. That's what you're trying to say, huh?
No, you did have really good Ice Blast. You're absolutely correct. I would put it more on Matoma myself, just because I think that the way he has a knack for it, man. I don't know. Maybe it's something about his personality. Maybe he has this aura about him that says, "Come and kill me, boys." You know, he just always does this. He knows how to play aggressively in the right situations to be able to force the enemy team to go onto him. And Venomancer is probably one of the best heroes to be able to exploit this.
A lot of that might be because of game 1. He was playing Lycan, just got dumpstered very early, couldn't do anything. He's like, just give me Veno. It doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to be useful.
Just if they go on me, I'll hit the R button. It'll be okay. So I think Matama Man, we always praised him for his sacrificial carry to be able to create space for Miracle and for Mind Control. Here it's like, it's similar, but you're actually also a game winner when they go on you. You're not just saying, well, space created, you're saying, oh, team fight won.
So one of you goes from Matumba Man, and the other one goes from Kuroki. So I think what we need is
just pick somebody else.
Drum roll, MVP, please.
Pick anybody else.
I can't keep the drum roll.
Oh, I win. I win,
wins.
Cap. How does it feel? Oh.
Well, you were wrong again, so.
You just got Suns fan.
That's right. That means I'm going to get the incorrect prediction coming up. That's good to know. Yeah, he was, I mean, it's hard to pick MVPs with teams like this anyway. We've talked about this many times, right? So.
It's a token effort. We like to try and reward the players, but just show some love to one of them, as they're not just slightly above the rest of the team. That's
I'm half Persian. Kuro's half Persian. I got to stick with my boys. I forgot to say I was biased, by the way. Easy peasy.
All right. So answer Toby's question before we go to the break. What do they do about the Veno? Just ban it now?
Yes.
I think so,
Is that the easiest thing to do?
Yeah, I think so.
They banned it the first game.
Look, the Venomancer was gone for a while, and whenever you bring back one of these heroes, I always feel like there's an adjustment where people kind of remember how to be able to play against this hero, and I think that both times we've seen the Venomancer against Evil Geniuses, and now here up against VP, I think we're stumbling over some of those blocks, where the Venomancer is looking probably better than he actually is, so I think for now, just ban it.
Plus, he's a very skillful Veno player, right?
Yeah.
You can't forget that. Very, very skillful. I'm saying that as if it's sarcastic, but I'm being very serious. He's very good at Veno.
He hits that R button real good.
Real good.
Serious question now before we go to the break. Have you got any musical tastes, Shannon? I'm not aware of what sort of music you follow. Anything in particular?
I'm kind of old school.
Okay, I like that.
Is this an actual question?
No, yeah, just a genuine. Genuine. What music do you like?
I like oldies.
Okay.
And
was that Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Oldies as in actual oldies, like Beatles, Beach
Wow,
Boys,
all right,
stuff
going
like
all the way
Super.
back to the 60s.
And then like System of a Down, Metallica. That's a little bit more modern,
love it.
but still kind of old
You and I are going to
school.
get on like a house on fire.
Okay.
You, on the other hand, what's your music taste?
Sorry, Paul. I don't
RTZ
because I don't like
Is that what you're trying
our
to say?
real music over there.
He doesn't get real music.
No,
Shannon.
actually, I'm a big fan of Metallica and System of a Down, actually. My father was a big rockhead, so I actually grew up in that environment. I also like hip-hop, which I know is to you, but
yeah,
I'm
okay with
it. And talking of that, actually, we're headed to a break, and I don't know how to say this, but You should definitely buy this next rap CD.